Hey everybody, welcome back to some more Wargame for once. Although I will have to tell you there will be two more Warno videos, almost certainly. But then it's done. Anyway, Wargame. Commonwealth Motorized. This is a deck that I had lying around already. I wanted to play the deck anyway, and I was like, let's take a look at the deck I built. And well, this is gonna be the deck. There are some slightly odd choices, specifically the Gurkhas and the Puma, which I don't even remember putting in, but there they are. Not a worst choice by any means. They are light infantry. I presumably have them. I don't know about sneaking around because for that purpose, SAS might be better. Because they also can, of course, snipe down helicopters and such. But maybe it's just to hold forward towns, so to speak, with the 15 HP. They're a bit more tanky than 10 HP squads. Honestly, but that's just a guess. Then again, the Puma isn't particularly fast with only 250k mage, right? So the links would still be better if I want to forward, get a forward position or position further in with helicopters. So again, I want to see not 100% certain what exactly my thought process was. It's still by no means a bad card, but I was like, you know what? It's a slightly odd choice. It doesn't ruin the deck or anything. Let's just leave it in and see how it goes. ADATs might be fun. But yeah, motorized, of course. One of the big benefits is the buff to the Recon tab, and Commonwealth has arguably the worst Recon tab out of any coalition slash major nation in the game. Although I'm not really sure if there's much to argue, it's almost a guarantee at this point. Which, of course, still means that Recon tab is better than it was without Moto, but it's still pretty mediocre. You do get some nice stuff like the Vickers, of course, and the Maxas with being, I'm fairly certain, the best Moto tank in the game. But yeah, it's just a fun deck that I like. Not the best Moto deck by any means. Not the best Commonwealth deck that I could build, probably. But I just enjoy it, and I usually do pretty well with it. Not rarely better than I do with other Moto decks that are substantially stronger. I don't know. In any case, as ever, I shall see you in a second, once we find a ranked game. Alrighty. We got Varn. What? Varnosiki is idiotic. I don't know if Varnosiki is something or if this is about Warno. Either way. You know what? I'm not gonna Google it live because maybe it's something really bad and then I'm gonna be mind fricked. Alright. I don't think I would have. I really like this map for this deck, but we can make it work. Copium. Let's start with some Vickers and some good old Rover Wombats. So also get a double stack of Toto as less. Maybe you can make something work. Um, I might start with a mortar, but not to smoke here because I don't want assuming of course or hoping that my opponent doesn't smoke themselves. I don't want to smoke off wheeled vehicles that might try to get into the town. I obviously want to catch them before they get in there, so I don't want to smoke here. I might want to smoke here though to protect my ass slabs because they only have 1 hour. But honestly, no, I gotta start with an ADATS, right? You know, it might just get sniped by my opponent, but I just gotta, don't I? Um, I don't have the Lynx H 720mm. Now I really wish I did. Because the other thing that is really bad in this deck is your fast anti-helo options. This deck doesn't really have the best planes for helo sniping. This is the only AA helicopter you have, and it's 100 points for a Stinger A on 6 HP. It's fast at least. And you don't get anything wheeled with good range. You get Wolverines, which again, well, maybe not again, but as I keep saying, they're much better than people sometimes, like to pretend they are. Um, we don't need SAS, I think. Let's actually get Commandos because the transport has 2 front armor. And as such, an aim extended longer range will not immediately kill them. That's actually quite important. Same with the Bison. I have to watch out if we don't get rushed down there. Sometimes people like to do that. do have a mortar for our ADATs. Probably gonna put the mortar down here. Also to hopefully help against it being sniped by an ATGM plane. This is, you should, okay, it's gonna be, or it's a bad idea to open with an ADATs here, honestly. It's way too easy to get sniped there. But I'll do it anyway. All for entertainment, am I right? What would be the best to like stop some bomb rushing down there, I wonder? Just a ton of wombats maybe? Let's get like 4 wombats. 3 wombats. 2 wombats. I want two infantry squads as well. Screw you. Get another 2 wombats. Let's do a Hail Mary rush in here with those wombats and those Aslevs. If there's a push down there, we'll hopefully spot it early enough, and then we're just gonna unload the Aslevs in here or something, and put the Aslevs in a, sorry, the wombats in a defensive position. If we don't spot this, then we're just gonna see if we can get a foothold here. Even if it doesn't happen in the long run, it might still help us out in here, because it hopefully will divert some units or some of the additional income later on. But let's just see. What's the worst kind of matchup? Probably something Soviet with a bunch of Mi-17s, or sorry, MTVs or something like that. Eurocore might be bad as well, honestly. MX-10s and such are good enough to deal with the Moto stuff that I have. Infantry strong Tigers are really annoying. Blue Moto, of course. We'll see. Our opponent seems to be taking their time. You know, some decks like Commonwealth and Moto, they don't particularly excel at something, right? As I've said, they can't really deny helicopter drops very well, which Moto decks typically, in my opinion, should be able to, at the very least from ground stuff, right? If you don't have great AA helicopters, okay, but you should at least have something akin to a Crotal or something like that, right? Which this deck doesn't have. But it also doesn't have a good anti-air helicopter or a great anti-helicopter plane. But any deck really has some acceptable anti-helicopter planes. But most decks really have one of those 3 options, right? Be it Crotal tier, DAP tier, or Lazur tier. Something. Very roughly speaking, of course, right? And this deck has neither. And for a deck that relies on its opener a lot, which Moto decks do, that can be a death sentence. But, you know, let's just see. Yeah, let's stay somewhere here. It's a bit... I just realized I have no recon infantry here. Any opening on the rest? Doesn't look like it. Cobra and a dab. So we're playing against US or Norrid. Unsure how I feel about that. That's exactly not the smoke that I want. But you have decent stabilizer at least. Actually, you drive this way. Okay, very good. I forgot about my 13s. Okay. Get in here, get in there. Get in there already. That's 2 fucking M1A2s. And the A that's just hit, very nice. Get you out of there. I still have line of sight to one of them, apparently not. Let's immediately get some more Milans. Get something like this. Opponent clearly wasn't prepared for this. Okay, I wasn't prepared for my ass off down here either. Right, just wasting your ammo. Get some reconnaissance. Actually, no, let's get an SAS squad for in here ASAP. ASAP. Right. But this match might be a prime example of sometimes to win against super heavies, all you have to do is deal with the stuff around super heavies. Of course, on some maps and against some decks, this is easier said than done. But I feel like with the US, that can definitely be the case more so than other decks, because the US is a fairly one-dimensional deck in terms of ground play. And I'd say its ground play can really struggle versus Moto decks, because it's usually very slow and I'd say has issues adapting. And those M1A2s are just straight up retreating. Right, just get a Milan in there and Milan in this bush. Just be aggressive with our... Get some of that. Link's right, I forgot about you. Even though I just moved it like a few seconds ago, I think. But we basically killed every ground unit that isn't Abrams. Let's just keep it in the back, I guess. Wolverine. Again, try to be aggressive with some stuff. Do we want to be aggressive with our Highlanders? Sure. They're fast. Most of the infantry we're probably going to encounter are going to be riflemen. And as such, we're going to be able to outrun them. Now, I would like to get a better view over this plateau here. I wonder if those M1A2... Obviously, they're retreating because, you know, they don't want to lose the M1A2s to our planes and such. M103A1s. There's the M1A2s. Oh, was it a... No, I don't think it was a supply truck. It was just a water. Yeah, here I'm not sure if our opponent just has used up all three cards of M113A3 for other stuff, and that's why they're stuck with A1 variants. Oh, this is the Canadian one? Oh, it's a Canadian one, alright. That's the other thing. Pathfinders shouldn't surely win against two cards of Highlanders. What that means those M35s, they could have been Canadian too. I did not check that. So at first I thought those might carry either Rangers or maybe even Navy SEALs. But Pathfinder is of course also an option because they're pretty decent at town fighting too. Which is usually something that the US can struggle at. Rangers, they're just kind of fine. They're not crazy one way or the other. Helps the infantry DPS. Sure, let's get this done with some Gurkhas here. Make use of the helicopters we have. They did though. Actually, let me check where my Aslav died. So where it died here. It was looking this way. That is presumably where it got killed from. Nothing crazy in terms of information, but it's good to know to see where it died, right? If it had died very early here or something, again, I didn't pay attention to that, and I should have. Give us some stuff as well. That looks like... Yeah, Sheridan? Yeah, Sheridan, alright. Oh, those are Marines, interesting. Pioneers? Oh, okay, that's very good. They're actually pretty formidable in terms of their... Look at the LVTPs, please. LEVs, of course, only have 1 armor, so they actually struggle. They actually take quite some damage from this. So, okay, this forest is gonna get filled with stuff. So, we wanna fill it with our stuff as well. Let's spam some more Gurkhas. Let's see if we can... It's shocked, so this is Rangers. Still that one... what's it called? That one... Pathfinders squad somewhere here. Let's retreat with those Highlanders before they get caught by something else. It seems like you're not gonna be able to snipe that. Just put these here as... Don't do that. Tripwires. You could definitely in the long run try to put a CV here, I think, as long as we hold this town here. Pull you a bit back, let's not be over aggressive. We don't want it to be stuck in a position where it can't retreat anymore. But they're not on attack move, so they took some damage here, that's nice. They even missed with the law, because all they have is a basic law. Very good. Right, but it's okay. If we can immediately engage with our Highlanders, it's gonna be good for us. Let's get another CV, place it in here. Let's get another recon. Icky boy. We should definitely try to overwhelm the Pioneers if we can find them, and try to not let them fight in conjunction with another infantry, because then they're gonna really be able to shine. You know, while the other stuff, like the Marines and those LVTPs, might take the damage from the Gurkhas, if those Pioneers can just keep firing, they can just rack up a lot of damage there. Various Maxes, alright, it's just pumping Gurkhas in here. Fuck it. Right, let's repair you. I think I want to split those up and have some of them with the MG turned off, so that LVTPs get dealt with quickly. One other reason why I'm using Gurkhas is especially against fire support heavy decks. That HP is very, very helpful, of course. I mean, generally it's helpful, but I think in this case it is more helpful than potentially the additional DPS that commandos might provide in the short run. Let's attack move a bit with you. But let's just keep pumping stuff in here. It's very obvious that might help out with our mortars. Run them down. These are the engagements we want, right? We don't want to be able to let our opponents attack with all their force at once, but ideally we want to single out those 1 or 2 stacks. This was of course in hindsight bad with my mortar. We might also want to hit that Cobra. Get some Red Rapiers. Nighthawk is of course still potentially an issue. Can just murder infantry left and right. So our next spy should probably be that. Pull you back. Another ranger squad. Two of them have their MG turned off. In case you're wondering, people keep asking this, and feel free to ask this, right? If you don't know. Then again, if you don't know, you probably don't know that I've said this countless times. Why am I doing this? Infantry cannot use their MG or their slot 2 and slot 3 weapon at the same time, to be more precise. And if they engage infantry first, then they will use their MG, of course, and if then, even just a split second after, a vehicle also engages them, oh my goodness, those AT weapons will not be used against the vehicle. And as such, LVTPs, let's turn both of you off for now. Have you split a bit. Nice. I was able to essentially tank those Saxons, the grenade launchers with the Saxons a bit. Because usually grenade launchers, even if they get killed almost immediately, will still be able to fire a few shots off, and they have such high damage. Yeah, see, I lost like 4 men there. Yeah, luckily those are coming one after the other, so yes, very nice. And they retreated in the last second, which means this time they didn't even get anything off. Get more supply and get some rapiers and get you back to the fob and forward. But this is essentially working exactly how I wanted to. Because if we had engaged those 4 LVTPs, those 4 US Marines, 2 of which we have not spotted yet, there they are, right, all at the same time, could have gone completely different for us. Right, I should be faster than them, at least when I'm calm. Those Pathfinders are actually wrecking me. Because they can only shoot at those, and the Marines are presumably also shooting at them. These ones only have line of sight. This is... yeah, some of the force especially, that is not played very often, never really got these kind of reports in the early stages of Wargame when maps were still getting adjusted. Right, this is what we want to avoid, those pioneers. And potentially those Abramses. We have low 80s, but against 22 front, 22 armor, they don't do a whole lot. If you can run away. Maybe split those up a bit so they don't get all caught at the same time. And we've never moved this in, I just realized. Maybe we can get some shots up here. Oh boy. Yeah, a bit cheeky with the links maybe. I don't think we'll be able to do much there, but... alright, now this could be an opportunity though. It's one max has gone at least. And it's 80 points, right? Don't forget. 80 points. Oops, so don't forget we have perfect stabilizers in our Sterlings because they're SMGs. You can get a second shot up on that Maxas. Nice. Stinger squad, interesting. But the Abrams is also panicked. Interesting. Anyway, I still would prefer to retreat here, I think. Especially with those pioneers here. Get some stuff here. I think at this point we are in a position where we can try to assault that. Move you over there. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Very, very dangerous with those. See, they don't even need direct line of sight, right? That's another very, very dangerous thing about the flamers. You know what? I'm not sure if we even ever get to use this. Maybe we can get some cheeky shots onto some of those vehicles with the links. Oh, hello, Abramses. Fuck was that? It's a supply truck. There it is. See? Oh my god. Well, we killed the supply truck. Oh yeah, those are the MGs, right? That's what no armor does for you. But I'm not sure. I always forget if one armor even helps against 50 cals and the like. Let's just put you in this building for now. You're so far away. We want to make sure that we pay attention to M113s potentially running after us. Right, you're still reloading, so you might as well try to move in the meantime. Get some range scaling on. Or rather the opposite of range scaling. Move you. You can just... Your infantry DPS is not high enough to really matter a whole lot. So you can just skip together and the Highlanders can do the AT duties. But we didn't lose a whole lot of infantry squads there. We killed 2 max SS, obviously a bunch of infantry. Actually, you can stay in there. Your base, the ADAT is just there to essentially provide some anti-helicopter duties. Gotta make sure that you're close enough to support each other, but not close enough to get absolutely destroyed by fire support splash damage. Alright, let's just get 2 more that are also like gonna be there fast. They're not gonna do much, so go across, they're panicked. Fast move few to stop damage. Oh no, you're panicked and missing. Oh boy. Are you the one that's detracked? It looks like it. That's sometimes why you should split, because you avoid like having a bad overview of where units actually are. I don't think we killed the... Did we kill the... Sheridan? Oh, there they are. Probably has to just keep moving. So I don't keep standing in the flames. Well, that's a parent computer reset. You'd love to see it. Ironically, the best thing you can use against pioneers, well, it's arguably ironically, I don't know, is fire support user. You can move in there. Rare that you get to cap so many zones, but yeah, it's just at the end of the day the matchup was very good for us. And oh my god, look at this, those pioneers, man. Given that you're playing against US Unspec, pioneers probably should have chosen to come in Bisons, but I'm not sure if that would really would have made a difference in this matchup. But yeah, this goes out to all the people, or you know, it's not like this is like ridiculously often said phrase, but some people really seem to think flamers are useless. They're not useless, they're just kind of niche-ish. That's GG. They're kind of like a tech card in card games, right? Cards, or in this case units that are used to counter a certain very specific thing. Oh, I didn't even realize we got that. That's very cool. And yeah, those were Pathfinders in the M35 in the opener. Very crucial. Wait, what? Where's the second Pathfinder's kill from the opener then? Wait, what? We saw a 2-stack, right? Maybe it got like killed by splash damage on from our opponent. But yeah, this was basically a dream game. We really made good use of our speed advantage, our infantry advantage. Um, got into the town in the opener, overwhelmed our opponent on the other side. Um, Essentially, their opener got hard countered, right? Oh, excuse me. For anything this in Moto, you would probably expect a sizable amount of points into tanks. Doesn't have to be like many tanks necessarily, but a lot of points. And especially in the past when unspec decks were the norm, or super heavies were the norm, really. But it's many, many years ago at this point. Two super heavies in the opener weren't even rare. I just think if you don't know what deck you're playing against, it is quite the gamble these days. Mech and Moto decks are quite common, in which case one super heavy is plenty. And if you know, which of course our opponent wouldn't, you're going up against Moto, you would probably not even run super heavy at all in the opener. But I think these days, in ranked, I'm not sure. I would not recommend gambling with two super heavies in the opener. Maybe you could do with something like a Moderna because you get autocans that really help with fire support. Or if you do, get a lot more spam. And because our Vickers, for example, right? That's 135 points. Just got deleted, right? They did a job by killing, Pathfinders before they could get into the town, and that helped a lot, of course. And it arguably was worth the 135 points because it slowed down our opponent and our opponent's opponent just enough for us to get a really strong position. But still, there was also nothing to support those M35s. Granted, it's not like they're really expensive. They're like 30 points a pop with the transport. But still, like 360 points into two tanks that don't have particularly great fire support HE DPS to make up for the lack of infantry here. Yeah. And a Hawk Pip 3. That is a really expensive opener. You just can't deny the town very well with this at all. I suppose that is kind of what the Cobra was for as well, and it almost worked because I screwed up with my AA. But the smoke also kind of ended up hurting our opponent. There were two dead M35s. Oh, you know what might have happened? I should have paid attention to that. One of our Vickers might have shot, and just after the shot got killed, so that Vickers kill didn't show up in the kill list because the kill happened after the Vickers itself died or something like that. Oh well. But yeah, very little here. Also, because of all the action, didn't pay attention to that. Yep, no shift unload, right? When you tell your stuff to fast move, just give them the shift unload command to, you know, um, not have your infantry die like this. Of course, it wouldn't have stopped me. Those light riflemen can't even one-shot ass laughs. Those commandos would have gotten into the town either way and just tracked everything that was there. Also, a very questionable buy. In my opinion, you have the depth for anti-helicopter already. In my opinion, just don't buy the Hawk if you that early gonna buy an ASF seemingly either way, right? It's not like this was an answer to something specific. It's not like they really needed to kill a helicopter. So why buy it at this point? Obviously to protect your Abramses, right? But then why do you have the Hawk? Real voice reveal right there for a second. So yeah. Those M1A2s, neither of them got killed, and yet yeah, this was just, I think, a good display, as I said in the game. Sometimes you don't really have to do with the super heavies themselves. Again, it's of course map dependent, and you know how the game flow is. It's with the Moto deck usually easier because you have the speed and the type of units to just fairly quickly move on to another flank. And the map, in a sense, allowed it because we managed to get into this town. But not all maps, not all matchups, etc., you know, allow for that strategy. It has to be said. In any case, though, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye.